still August in Western Massachusetts, but at Western New England University, the fall semester is already underway.
Welcome. How are you?
But this is no ordinary year. It's a time for celebration. This is Western New England's Centennial. For 100 years, the university has been offering its unique brand of higher education to the people of Springfield, New England, and now the world. This is a success story, but nothing about it was ever easy. At the time of World War I, Springfield was a boom town. Thanks to such pioneers as Milton Bradley, Indian Motorcycles, Mass Mutual, and Merriam-Webster, commerce was becoming much more sophisticated and required people with a professional education to conduct its transactions. Northeastern College in Boston had foreseen this trend several years before and had begun to open up satellite divisions housing YMCAs throughout the industrial cities of New England. So in 1919, the decision was made to open a division in Springfield. Students embraced the new opportunity, and in 1922, the Springfield Northeastern Division graduated its first class. For the next 28 years, under the direction of John D. Churchill, Springfield Northeastern offered programs to an ever-growing number of students in a variety of disciplines. By mid-century, it was at a crossroads. To meet accreditation requirements, Northeastern, by then a university, needed to consolidate programs and close divisions, including Springfield. Concerned about its commitment to its students, the Springfield Division Board of Governors, supported by community leaders, determined that the best way forward, despite the risks, was to create a new, autonomous institution. Under founding President Churchill, followed by President Beaumont A. Herman, Western New England not only survived, it thrived. Offering a high-quality, affordable private college education in fields that were in demand, the college drew larger and larger classes. So in 1956, Western New England sought a permanent home of its own. With an enrollment of just 1,000 students, its leaders spent $70,000 to buy 34 acres of farmland in Springfield. The locals called it the Miracle on Wilbraham Road. The timing was perfect. The baby boom generation that was reaching college age at the time embraced higher education like no generation before it. Enrollment grew every year. Buildings and new programs were added. Golden Bears, who were now increasingly living on campus, began to make the college their own. With each successive generation, Western New England was becoming a living, breathing, tradition-building institution with a focus on the future. At the turn of the 21st century, it was time to embrace a new vision, one that would see Western New England evolve yet again from a college to a comprehensive university, whose reach would extend increasingly across the globe.
Once I began my tenure on September 1st, 1996, I really spent considerable time, as any president would or should, listening, discussing with people, meeting with everybody, and trying to assess how ready we were to elevate the institution. I always had felt that we had such a breadth of programs here. We had all this capacity, so if we were to change to a university, if we could meet the standards for being a university, we would appear to be that much larger with that much more opportunity for students. Plus, it would be very attractive to faculty who would come because they're interested in doing research, and that would give us an opportunity to have a lot of research going on, but it would have to be research oriented towards students. So we set a committee to find out what those requirements were. There was this real spirit and willingness to go to the edge and leap. And that's exactly what we did, and that's how it came to pass.
The biggest segment of business students come in, they know they're interested in business, but they don't know exactly what area of business is the best fit for them. And so we're able to connect with them through open houses, the families as well, and just say that that's okay. That's perfectly fine for you to come in undecided. We're going to work with you from day one, from the time you step on campus, to help you identify your passions and the major that's best for you, such that by no later than the spring of your sophomore year, you'll be connected with a curriculum and be on path to graduate on time in 4 years.
The college has really changed a lot. We have not lost our focus on undergraduate education, but we have extended activities at the higher level in terms of graduate programs. We have master's programs in a number of different disciplines, as well as a PhD program in engineering management. So we have changed. The faculty members that we hire are now at a different caliber faculty because the requirements for them are different.
I think that Western New England University as a whole is a place of opportunity, and it's also a place of community. And these are two values that I think we embrace in every part of the university. We embrace it in terms of our academic units being ones where we teach students about the grandiose ideas that are part of our discipline. We provide them with the practical training to try to get them to the goals that they're trying to achieve. And we also do it with a sense of community, and it's community among faculty and staff and administrators all together to create this special environment for our students.
One of the things that I've enjoyed the most about Western New England is I think of it as being a real force. It almost has a body, it has a heart, it has a brain. It's a living organism.
We have more than 47,000 alumni. That base is growing by, obviously, leaps and bounds every year. We graduate big classes.
Graduates first and then graduates.
Those 47,000 alums span many generations. Every single person wants to be proud of their alma mater, wants to be able to point to progress, wants to know of that progress, and that's the work of the Advancement Division in recognizing and appreciating every single individual who touched this place.
As an 18-year-old, I came in just wanting to learn. Thus, I wanted to come to a place that really had a good reputation and had a track record of producing graduates that, frankly, could get a job, and that's what my intent was, to get a job. For 20 years, I never came back to the campus. However, almost every year I would write a check to the university, and one year Dr. Caprio asked, who is this guy writing these checks, and decided it would be a good idea to come to Boston and have lunch with me. And that was about the time that my wife mentioned to me, she said, you know, you really should do something else. And Dr. Caprio offered a board position, which happened at the right time, and I decided to accept it. You know, my grandfather had a degree in engineering, and he was 29 years old when the Great Depression hit. He told me more than once that you could lose everything, but you'll never lose your education.
For me, the brand is the comprehensive nature of the institution and the opportunity that presents to students, right? All of our students, whether they're in arts and sciences and aspire to be in law or engineering and want to take a graduate degree in business, they can do that here. It's also about the ability for us in that we engage with our students routinely. They're not just another name on a page, but we know them personally, and I think that that really lends itself to really allowing students to transform.
If you look at the trends in higher education over the last 10 years and you bring it forward to where we are today, every source of new students for an institution like Western New England and all institutions in the United States is right now currently strained. On the undergraduate level, you have the declining demographic. Now, on the graduate student level, the competition is as fierce as ever, and there's an oversaturation. And you have this emergence of these very large brands. that are taking away a lot of students from smaller regional institutions.
A student who graduates from pharmacy today probably would find within 3 to 5 years fully a third of what we've taught them about applied patient care is probably either out of date or second-tiered knowledge. And that's how fast things are moving. And so for us, the hardest thing is to prepare them not just for tomorrow, but the day after tomorrow.
The one thing I really respect about Western New England University is that we've navigated through these challenging times with both attention to the art and the science and how to do that. So 10 years ago, the institution looking at these trends in a very scientific manner, but also looking at them in an optimistic way, which I think is part of our culture, part of our ethos, who we are. We're an optimistic institution. We're committed to who we are and who we've always been, but we're also willing to change and implement new things.
When you want to travel to a country, you need a passport, right? You need a passport. Even Canada, you cannot go to Canada without a passport. Now, there is a virtual passport to move to future. Without that passport, you cannot handle the challenges of the future, which is going to be inevitably very different, the culture, everything.
I do think a lot about what will this place look like 10 years from now, or maybe even more importantly, 20 years from now. All the things that we have been seeing recently at Western New England, whether it's buildings or technology or systems, it has a sense of modernness. Secondly, I think we have to have a place that still remains very comfortable seeming. So it has a serenity to it where there is time for reflection, there's time for thinking about the big issues. Thirdly, we have to have a curriculum that is one that encourages students to look at theory, but at the same time is abundant with exposure to the real world, exposure to conversations about problems that are interdisciplinary.
The Second Century campaign is the second large comprehensive campaign that Western New England University has undertaken. Our goal is $35 million for financial aid, student life on campus, the academic experience, and unrestricted dollars that allow the university to make some decisions based on a pressing university priority.
I'm from New Jersey, so actually when I came here for my tour, I was just wondering, all these people were smiling at me. I'm like, is there something on my face? And I'm walking around, I'm just wondering why everyone's so friendly and upbeat. And I just realized it's just the community here.
I have spent many, many years, if we tally up the time, just plain old laughing at Western New England. People laugh here.
There's something when you step foot on the campus that if it bites you, if you feel it, it becomes part of who you are. And this place really feels like family. It makes people feel like they belong, and it makes people feel like that they can push themselves to try things that they would have never tried before.
Our alums, many of them often said, well, to me, it'll always be Western New England College. And I would say, that's fine. It can always be whatever good memory you have. As long as it's a good memory, you can keep it. But do every now and then say Western New England University when you're talking to people, and help spread the word about our great university.
From its modest beginnings in rented classrooms in a YMCA to the 215-acre campus with over 4,000 undergraduate and graduate students, the remarkable first century of Western New England University is written. Just imagine what our second century will bring.
It is truly one of the great gems in our crown jewel of colleges and universities here in the Commonwealth of Mass.